All right, hello, everybody. Welcome back to Ravens and Safe Crafts. I am your host, Sue. If you're new here, welcome. If you're not new, welcome back. So I tried to dye my hair festive for Christmas. It did not turn out how I wanted it to, but we're going with it. So it's a little bit red and green. Ooh, it's a little bit fun, right? So sorry. This is Vlogmas Day 16, I think. I cannot believe Christmas is so close, but we are working on. Well, I think I have pretty much the Christmas. I'm gonna keep working on some Christmas stuff up until Christmas. I think because you can always put it in my shop until Christmas. So, how's everybody doing? Like I said, I know I did not do any videos since I think Friday was my last video. I don't remember. Thursday or Friday. It was the weekend. I did not get a chance to record. I was making some cookies. I was relaxing some. I had a heck of a stressful week last week. So I was trying to take some time to finally get some Christmas cookies started. I don't know how many we're going to get done, but we'll have some done at least that we can make some trays up and take some for Christmas Eve, which we always do. Like I said, it's not going to be what I normally get done, but hey, I'm proud of how many, batches we got done this weekend. And we got, let's see, chocolate chip. It's called a Rice Krispie cookie. It's really good. It's got coconut and Rice Krispies in it. I made 2 batches each of those. We made 2 batches of oatmeal cookies. We made chocolate cookies with white chips. We made they're called oatmeal scotchies. They have oatmeal and butterscotch in them and no raisins, so I like those. What else did we make? And I got the peanut butter cookie stuff together for to make the peanut butter cookies with the Hershey Kisses and the Reese's peanut butter cups on top. We did not get them baked yet, but I made the cookie dough so we can make them whenever we want to. And tonight my husband's working on wrapping some presents because I wrap like a 5-year-old. So I thought I'd make a quick video for you guys. I don't have a whole lot to update on. I did not get much crocheting done this weekend. I was lazy, and that's fine too, because most of my stuff is done for Christmas. I sold a couple orders I had to pack up this weekend. Yeah, so like I said, we did cookies and we did stuff like that, and so that, not a whole lot to update on that. Now tomorrow is Tuesday, and I have my podiatrist appointment tomorrow, so that should be interesting. We'll see what they have to say about my feet. So we'll see. I don't know. I'll let you know after that appointment. It's tonight at, what time is it? Going on 8 o'clock, so sorry about the late video, but oh, sorry about the cough too. It's so cold and dry here. My God, my throat is so dry. I've been drinking and putting lip balm on and stuff, and it's still so dry. And my face, my skin is so dry. So yeah, so I didn't get a whole lot of crocheting done this weekend. I did not get progress on things. I had good intentions, but sometimes, it just doesn't happen. And I did like I said, I was supposed to be red on this side and then green on this side, and it kind of got pink and light green. Oh, and I did my nails too. See, did all Christmas color. Because tomorrow night we have my kids' Christmas concert, so I'm excited for that. I'm gonna wear an obnoxious Christmas sweater, and my hair's gonna be all colored, and I might wear a hat. Who knows? We'll see. But I'm gonna have fun with it because I'm excited that I get to go this year, since I did not get to go the last 2 years, I think. So it's made me very sad. So I'm excited that I get to go see their concert, and we're gonna make it work somehow in the wheelchair. Hopefully, it's not slippy as hell. Uh, we're gonna make it work. So, yep. So there's that, and then that's tomorrow. And then the rest of the week, I don't think I have. I don't have any doctor's appointments. Believe it or not. So yay! Once I get done tomorrow, I'm free for the rest of the week. I'm so excited about that. You have no idea. It's like my whole life is the one doctor's appointment after the other right now. So, and I'm hoping my youngest son came home with a cold, so I'm hoping I don't catch that, but we'll see because I catch everything. But we've been disinfecting a lot, so hopefully, although he's doing his best to spread his germs, but hopefully, give him some NyQuil and send him to bed early. I'm like, get some rest. He was falling asleep on the couch at dinner. I'm like, go take some NyQuil, go get some sleep. Hopefully he feels a little better because he's a really long day tomorrow. They leave here at 7 o'clock in the morning, and we won't get home until probably close to 10 o'clock tomorrow night. So he needs his energy. So hopefully he feels a little better in the morning. Other than that, like I said, I don't have a whole lot. It's not going to be a super long video. There was a couple things I did want to talk about. So, of course, the first thing I do want to show you what I am working on, which is, so on Saturday, I was going through the clock app, as one does, and I was scrolling through, and I don't know if you've ever seen Brochet. His videos are hilarious, and he makes all kind of stuff. Well, he made a lightsaber scarf, and I made the mistake of showing my husband the lightsaber scarf, and my husband's exact face was, I don't have a lightsaber scarf. So guess who's crocheting a lightsaber scarf? Sorry about the camera. It is. Let's see if I can. Closer, further away. I don't know. The light is shining out. There you go. So, yeah. That's what I've been working on since yesterday. I started this yesterday. So, yeah, I've been working on, tilt you guys down just a little bit. See if I can get you guys down here with me a little more. Whoop. There you go. Stay here. Stay here. Don't go. All right. So that's what I've been working on, is this lightsaber scarf for my husband. I do have other stuff I was working on for my business, but you know what? Sometimes you need to just take a break and make stuff for, and I have to go through my yarn stash and look for, because I need to make a hat for a Christmas present yet. But that can get done whatever. I have a couple days yet for that, so that just needs to get done probably by this weekend, so we can get washed and wrapped and all that jazz. But yeah, I mean, Christmas is next week already. I mean, can you believe it? The kids only have school till Friday, and then they're off until after the new year. So how are you guys doing? What did you guys do this weekend? Anything good? Anything interesting? I've been watching some YouTube. Obviously all my Vlogmas people, I've been watching them. What else have I been watching? Not too many. I've been watching Greg's Loops. I've been watching, of course, Cinnamon Stitches, Mama Michaela, Passionate Kelsey. Man, she's working on a knit sweater. She started it and she's making it for Christmas Eve. God bless, because no way. There's no way. That's ambitious. She's getting far on it, though. I was watching her vlog today, and she knits way faster than I do. Way faster than I do. I mean, she crochets a lot faster than I do, too. But then again, she's only in her 20s, and I'm in my 40s, so she has no arthritis or all that jazz. But And she makes beautiful things, and she's really good at it. Like, she's reading the pattern, like, oh, okay, blah, blah, blah. No, that's not me. That's not me. This scarf is solely made off of seeing the one that Brochet made and coming up with my own pattern. Uh, so I know a lot of people can't do that, so I guess I should be proud of myself for that. But yeah, I sort of paused the video, looked at it, and went, I think I could do that. So it's not identical to his in any way, shape, or form, but it is a lightsaber scarf. So, yep, that's what I'm working on today. I did want to talk a little bit because everybody's been talking about Game of Wool. And if anybody watches Game of Wool, it's a British show. And it's all fiber artists, and it all deals with crochet and knitting. I know Mikey from Crochet Crowd talked about it. Greg Sloops talked about it. I don't know. A bunch of the people I've been watching have talked about it. And you can watch the episodes on YouTube if you're interested in it, if you haven't seen it. And it's really cool. It's hosted by Tom Daly. He's the diver, the Olympic diver that it made the headlines because he was always sitting in the stands knitting when he wasn't competing. So he's in it, and I mean, I've watched quite a few people talk about it, and I guess there's a lot of people like putting it down in the social medias, and I know that's how you get clicks, is by creating drama and saying nasty things about it. But I think it's a cool show. I've been thoroughly enjoying it. I mean, it's very similar to, like, if you've watched like the baking competitions or any of like the Project Runway or sewing, anything like that. It's very, very similar to that, where they give the contestants, they take people who are, well, these are all crocheters and knitters, mostly knitters, and so, but they do give them a lot of crochet challenges, and they give them challenges in ridiculously short periods of time to come up with stuff and do things, and they have to complete them in like 12 hours or something like that. And so, like, they did like dog outfits, and then they do like team challenges as well, and bathing suits and jewelry, and they have to make all this stuff. And of course they want to see lots of, like, a couple sweaters they had to make and things like that. Let me just find some more yarn here. I'm trying to use up some old yarn I got hanging out. So yeah, I've been watching. Sorry, you're going away. So I've been watching it since the beginning. I've watched all the episodes so far, and I've been enjoying it. I mean, I think, obviously, it's like I said, it's like these baking shows where you know that if these people actually had real time, like the real amounts of time to do things, that they could do way better than what they're doing. But it's a competition show, and that's what you signed up for. You know what I mean? And of course, like, all these fiber artists or YouTubers are putting it down and complaining about it and stuff like that, and saying like, oh, well, like, they should be doing more teaching and getting people. And I'm like, I still think that it would get people into the craft. For me, I know, Mikey from Crochet Crowd was saying, like, it inspired him to do some stuff that he hadn't, it really inspired him. Like, he made these really cool, and I want to try doing these cowls, and they're in, he used, I'm trying to think of the word it's called, I forgot the stitch. Go look up Crochet Crowd, and you'll see the cows he made. They're so cool looking. And he makes a chart, and then he makes the cowl and use the waistcoat stitch, I believe it's called. It's not something I've ever done. So I would love to try it. And but like I said, not before Christmas. This is definitely a January kind of project for me. Because I was working feverishly on Christmas things, and actually I really need to sit down, um, but well, okay, I'm getting off. Squirrel, squirrel, squirrel. Hold on. So Mikey from Crochet Crowd was talking about how it inspired him to do things, and I'm like, it honestly, before he even said that, I was thinking the same thing. Like, just watching what some of the people were coming up with and how they were designing things really made me think about, like, it. To be honest, it really makes me want to pick up my knitting needles because I have a love-hate relationship with knitting. I love the way knitting looks. I love the way it comes out. I am not as good at it as I am with crocheting, and it's so. I mean, I guess I'll just give, if anybody's watching that's not a knitter or crocheter or not a fiber artist in any way. So, knitting, of course, is 2 needles. Crochet is 1 hook, right? Um, and the biggest difference is, well, okay, there's a lot of differences, but basically, crochet takes a lot more yarn, okay, because of the way you do the stitches. Knitting takes a lot less yarn. Crochet, you can do different, you can make different things with each thing. Like, you can make amigurumi and stuff like with knitting, but it's a lot harder. Like, crochet gives you a lot more ease of, how do I say this, doing some funky stuff. It's harder to do with knitting. But you can. I mean, I have seen amazing knitters that can do some crazy stuff with knitting, especially like Fair Isle stuff. Oh my God. Gorgeous. Gorgeous. I have never done that kind of stuff. I do not read patterns well. I don't have the attention span for it or the confidence in it. And so, but knitting also gives you a better like drape. So like, you know how like when you're wearing a sweater, you want it to flow nicer, like, you know what I mean? You want it to lay nice. Knitting gives you more of that drape. Then crochet is a lot stiffer no matter how you crochet. You're never going to get the flow of the garment like you can with knitting. Uh, there's positives and negatives to both. And I mean, I've done both. I do both. I am much more confident in my crochet, but the thing that terrifies me about knitting is like, so when you're crocheting, okay, for example, like I'm working on this and I need to put it down, okay? I put it down. Now, I could put a stitch marker in here to prevent it from pulling out or whatever. I'm not going to because I'm lazy. But the worst thing that can happen is somebody can snag your yarn and it'll start pulling stitches out slowly, okay? And then you have to go back through and do it again. No big deal. The issue is with knitting is if you miss one stitch or if you drop a stitch off your needles or your needles get messed around with while you're not working on them, your whole garment can get well, like, did you ever have a sweater or something and you pulled like one strand and like it starts starts making holes up the whole sleeve? That's called laddering. Yeah, you can mess up one stitch and screw up your entire garment. Again, where if I'm doing crochet and I see a mistake 2 rows back, I can just pull it out. You can't do that with knitting. You can't. People put in what they call a lifeline, where they stitch a piece of yarn in every so many rows. They just put it through so that in case you have to pull it back, you don't have to pull the whole garment out. So there is, like I said, positives and negatives. I started off knitting initially, and to be honest with you, I gave up knitting for the most part when my kids were little, because you can't just stop knitting in the middle of a row. Okay? I mean, you can, but it's really messes you up. It's a lot harder to get started again. Where, like I said, crochet you can put down at any moment. And if any of you have ever had little kids, you know that being trapped somewhere where you can't just throw something down at a moment's notice is not ideal, because Lord knows they get into everything. A mess could be made at any given moment of any hour of every day, or something you need to go catch, grab, stop from happening, save, screaming, bump, you never know. You know what I mean? So that is not ideal for knitting. You know what I mean? So if you throw down your knitting, chances are you've just ruined your whole project. So when my kids were little, I stopped knitting and I really focused on crochet, and that's when I got a lot better at crochet, and then it's harder and harder to go back to the knitting. So I do have the itch to pick up some knitting needles again and try some harder stuff, because I very much have just stockinette, or I stockinetted several, or two full blankets, so I'd like to try my hand at some harder knitting and see if I could, especially in the wintertime when it's all snowy and dreary, and of course I'm not exactly going anywhere. Maybe pick some up and play around with some yarn, with some knitting needles, and see what we come up with. Is anybody interested in that? Anybody curious as to? I can show you guys basic knitting. I'm not a master knitter in any way. Although, like I said, I am looking to maybe watch some YouTube videos and see if I can figure out how to do some harder stuff. Because I would absolutely love to knit a sweater. I think that would be like I definitely don't know that I'm ready for socks. With all the 4 double pointed needle, that scares me. That scares me. I'm not that coordinated. I am just not that coordinated. So, yeah, so that's kind of all I wanted to talk about today. I wanted to do a brief game of wool, because everybody's been talking about it, and I don't like all the negativity. It seems like everything anymore, and I'm just gonna throw this out there, and you can take what you like. Any kind of group, fandom, whatever. Every time something comes out, everybody has to be negative. And it's draining. Like, can we not be positive about things? Like, look, everybody's entitled to their opinion, and everybody's entitled to think what they like. But, like, my husband talks about it all the time with Star Wars. I'm going to get into this with that. And of course, there's always new stuff coming out with Star Wars. And every time something drops, there's a million negative Facebook, Reddit, Insta, Clock app, whatever posts. And then, everybody and their brothers doing videos about negative, 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 negative. And it's like, can't you be even like a little bit positive about this stuff? Like, and again, my issue with this kind of stuff is like just like with Star Wars. I mean, it's their creation. they can do with it what they want. If you don't like, if you truly don't like where they're going with something, you don't have to keep following it or purchasing it. You know, I see it again. I see it in a lot of my book groups. Like, um, I read a bunch of the series I read are long series. At two of the series I read are over 30 books at this point in just one series. And the amount of people who complain about where the series is headed, where it's going, what's going on with the characters. And they do it under the guise of saying, well, we spend money on the books. We have a right to complain, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, I get what you're saying, but ultimately it's the author's journey. And it's their art. And if you don't like where their art is going, you don't have to buy the next book. You know what I'm saying? Like, I would never complain about an author's, like, where they're headed with something. Do you know what I mean? It's their art. And they're entitled to do whatever they want with it. I mean, I have a podcast where I talk about books. And I mean, I have criticized to the point of, I've noticed that some of the publishers have gotten involved and are forcing the hand of some of my favorite authors to go to do things. Like, you can tell, and the authors won't say it directly, but if you listen, like when they do interviews and stuff, you can tell that this is how they were pushed. Like, maybe to lessen certain things in the books, to make them more palatable for a broader audience. Like, one of my favorite authors writes vampire stuff, and you could tell at a point, I know she made a few comments in interviews about, like, how the publisher talked to her about, like, making the books more palatable for a broader audience is what. And after that, you could tell that, like, certain elements that we really enjoyed are, and books were pushed out faster than what she initially said were going to happen. Like, she had given timelines of when the books were going to come out, and then all of a sudden it's like 3 in 1 year, which is a lot for anybody, especially when you're writing a 400 page or more book, and it's like, you could tell that it's the publishers that are, and I don't agree with that, because that's, in fact, one of my favorite authors, Laura K. Hamilton, actually had done a video saying that, so she was on social media all the time, and she was doing all kind of videos, and then all of a sudden, like, they stopped completely. And after months, she finally came back, and she's like, I'm really sorry. I had to take a break because her publisher had put in her contract that she had to do, like, so many social media posts and stuff like that, and that she had to do her own advertising for the books. And she was required in her contract to do so many social media posts, be on social media, be active and stuff like that. And she's like, you know what happened? I couldn't finish these books. Like, I got so far behind on my deadlines because, she got down this social media rabbit hole, making videos, replying to comments, and she ended up missing and completely blowing a deadline, that to the fact that she hasn't had a book out in well over a year and a half, or almost 2 years. And so she finally had to tell her publisher, like, I can't, if you want books out, you got to let me get off of the social media all the time. And again, like this was her publisher's fault that we don't have another book now. So that's stuff I will complain about because I don't think that's fair. But I don't question the author's art because that's their, that's their art. And again, like, that's what drives me nuts with all these things. Like, people want to go after, like, Game of Wool, go after this show, go after that. Any kind of trope, any kind of thing. Everybody has to be so negative. Why do we have to be so negative? Why? Like, again, I get it if you want to, like, say a little something, but, like, these rants of, like, and here I am going on a rant, I know. But, I wish we would put a little bit more positivity out in the world and a whole lot less negativity. Like, so, on that note, after 30 minutes, I am going to say goodbye to you guys. I'm going to keep working on this scarf. Hopefully tomorrow I will get a video done. I cannot promise anything because we have a concert tomorrow night and I have a podiatrist appointment in the morning and I don't know that I'm going to get a video done tomorrow. But if I don't, I hope you have a great day tomorrow because this video is late tonight, so you're probably watching this on Tuesday. So I hope you have a great night. I hope you have a great day. I hope you do something that makes you smile. I hope you do something that makes you happy. I hope you can be the positive light in this world. Because we need more. We need more of them. And I thank you so much for watching. I appreciate all of you so much. I really do. I really love spending time and talking to you guys. I hope you have a wonderful day, a wonderful night whenever you're watching this. And choose love, not negativity, every day. Bye, everybody.